to Align and Elevate. Love who you are. A show where I can be me and you can be you. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to this episode of Align and Elevate, Love Who You Are. And tonight, we are going to talk to Lorrie Walla. And our subject today is going to be about the creative art of personal reflection with the use of NeuroGraphica method. And I have personally done a little bit of this. I am definitely not an expert. And I can tell you that I really enjoyed it a lot. And so I'm going to let Lorrie say hi.
Hello.
How are you this evening?
I'm good. Yes. NeuroGraphica. I went off and got my specialist certificate in it. So I've been studying it for a while.
Awesome. And I've seen your samples and they are amazing. Some of
Yeah, I have
your things. I hope you got some that you can show us in a little bit.
I do. I have a few pulled out over here.
Perfect. Okay, so first of all, let's go to just tell us a little bit about yourself and the path that led you to the NeuroGraphica.
Yeah, sure. So because I want this to relate to you and your audience, I'm going to ask a question first. And that's just to give you something to anchor my story to your story, right? So I want you to think about when you were young, and maybe it was elementary, maybe it was high school, or even the early college years, like it was for me. What made you feel alive? And what made you feel creative? What what was it that you were doing when time flew?
Playing outside for me, very much
Cool.
playing outside.
I can relate to that too.
Playing pretend. We would do that a lot outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely. So that's what NeuroGraphica resonated with me. The process helped me remember that when I was growing up, I was surrounded by creativity with my friends and my family. And like you said, as a kid, I loved playing outside too. We played pretend, and I knew that using my imagination was really important.
Yes.
And that that is a huge form of creativity. And then I got into music and photography and art, and I won some awards for those things. And then graphic design in college, which led to videography, which what I got my degree in. And then I've even directed over 30 theatrical plays. And so what I found over the years is that my creative talent surfaces as a visual storyteller.
Okay.
And what's really cool is, I'll just mention really quick, because I also do human design, is it's actually in my design that God made me to be creative. Like I have to be, or else I'm dying. But in 2020, good old COVID years, I remember that I was stuck. I was in a valley. I see now that I had postpartum depression. I had had 3 kids by then. I had health issues, rocky relationships, was really disconnected with myself. And
Yeah.
then my husband signed me up for a course. Reluctantly, I'm like, fine, I'll take this course. And of course,
Right.
he loves me. It ended up being life changing. And what it was about, which I now have a coaching certificate in. It was in neuro-linguistic programming and the power of our words.
Mm-hmm.
So that led me on the path to self-development, and which
Yep.
is what I'm coaching in now. And so NeuroGraphica came in 2025, so about a year ago.
Okay.
And I'd gathered other certifications, but I wasn't really being creative. I wasn't doing art. I stopped playing music, and there was a hole there. And then on Instagram, there was this Russian lady
Mhm.
who was offering a NeuroGraphica course on your 5 greatest fears.
Mm.
And so I took that workshop, and one of the things I connected with was just being creative, but at the same time I was doing self-development and working through my 5 fears, and it was awesome and so moving. And so that's how I got hooked.
I love it because sometimes doing that self-development work seems daunting, depending on how you're doing it. So using the creativity with it, to me, I don't want to say it makes it easier, but it brings another depth to it other than just talking about it.
Exactly.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. That the talk therapy,
Mm-hmm.
it's not all that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so having an outlet like neurographic to go through that journey, um, that's another thing that I really resonated with.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh.
maybe somebody's not a talker, you know.
That-
You know.
and like you said, more visual.
Mhm.
Yeah, everybody learns or operates in different ways. Some are writers, like you said, some are visual, some are need to listen to it, just
Mhm.
hear it. Yeah, so that's really cool. Well, you kind of already touched on the other question I was going to ask. You do all kind of things, yoga and human design and photography and the NLP that you mentioned, functional nutrition, the NeuroGraphica. What do you think ties all of those things together that you've been doing?
Yeah, when you list them all out, it does sound really different, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
many hats. But to me, they all have ties that bind. It's kind of like, think about, they're all different doorways that lead to the same room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so whether forest bathing is another one. So whether I'm like leading somebody on a nature connection, or practicing yoga, or exploring their human design, the destination is always the same, which is leading the client back to themselves.
Yeah.
It's about helping them remember who they innately are or were, and they may have
Mm-hmm.
gotten disconnected
Yep.
because, I mean, we all know we get busy. Oh, that word busy and overwhelmed, and that causes disconnection, and it gets so noisy in our head that we don't hear our own voice anymore.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You are speaking my language. That is exactly it. Exactly what I do and embody as much as I can for myself, and therefore help other people do as well. So, very true. So, you often talk about that coming back to yourself in your life. What has that meant for you? What does that mean?
I got lost. I got really, really lost. And, it comes from giving too much of myself away for too
Mhm.
long,
Yep.
and only looking outside, and, letting things pile up, and people pleasing,
Yep.
that all, it's very unhealthy stuff, and it leads to burnout. And
Hmm.
yeah, so you get to, and then also, as caregivers, I I'm not giving myself, or I wasn't giving myself permission to take care of myself. And so I was giving from an empty cup. which is you can't give from an empty cup.
And I love, and I'm trying to remember who said this. It was something recently, and I was like, oh, you know how some things are so simple, but they make so much sense? Is give from the saucer, not the cup. Give from the stuff that flows over the cup onto the saucer.
Yeah.
When you give from that space, you don't feel empty inside. And as someone who's worked in the medical field forever and now doing healing work, I got empty too because it was a constant give, give, give and didn't refill. And so I was in a similar space that you were in, probably in 2018, 2020, that time period. And it's taken me, and I want people to understand this, it has taken me almost 10 years to do that work. It is not an overnight process. And you find the different avenues, like you said, the different doorways that get you there, whatever that looks like. And it's never one doorway. Just remember that. No. Many, many, many things I've done. Yeah. So that is excellent.
Yeah,
So what, go ahead.
Yeah, just reiterating, yeah, it takes years. And then also it's not one doorway because that would be kind of boring.
It would. And
Yeah.
I'm not even done. I mean, I continue. I just went on a retreat 2 weeks ago and reclaimed some parts of myself that I had hidden away many, many years ago when I was a child. So doing that work is a continual process. Now, am I in a better place than I was in 2018? Absolutely. So it does grow over time, but it's a never-ending process, I think.
That's
Yeah.
good. Keep up the good work.
So what do you think people are really searching for when they come to you to do NeuroGraphica?
Yeah, probably not specifically neurographics. I mean, unless it's someone looking just for that art form. But usually it's because something feels off to them, and they may not know. I think they're searching for themselves in a way. But what's so cool about NeuroGraphica is there's so many things that are topics that you can draw on. Like I said, my first one was on my 5 greatest fears. And I maybe here's a chance to
Yeah. Show us, do a sneak peek. Show us what that looks like.
So this is my favorite, my 5 greatest fears, and it turns something so seemingly dark into a piece of artwork. Yes, that was one of the mind-opening things for that. But the other thing is you can draw, you can do goal setting. So something completely different. So this is a goal setting one in 4 different areas of my life.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
And it has us look at it had me look at the past and the present and the future. And then here's one on gratitude, just drawing on gratitude.
Oh, that was the tree one, was gratitude.
Yeah, the tree.
I love it.
Right?
Ready.
This one was about my life's purpose. So searching for, that sweet spot of why I'm here on this planet.
Yeah, now that one interests me a lot because it's so different on the outside of that picture compared to some of the others.
Yeah, they're all, I mean, there's a neuro lotus. This one also was a goal setting one where you look at the symptoms that you have right now that aren't so great, and then you look towards a goal.
So that brings up an interesting question. Like, do you ever get someone who's maybe going through a physical challenge that this would help them with?
Yes, I mean, you can draw on weight loss or even pain in the body too.
Yeah, I can see that because I believe all of it is connected for sure.
I was going to show one last one because all of those were like really colorful, but this one is just as effective. In fact, this is probably one of the most moving ones that I ever did on myself. And it's
It's
black and
just
white.
black and white.
Mhm.
I like that too. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's some samples.
So what is so if somebody's never seen or heard of NeuroGraphica, what is it? Like describe what it is exactly that you're doing.
Yeah, it's simply creative self-reflection, and you're combining. It's like hypnotherapy, which is just talking, really, but this
Mm-hmm.
is like subconscious drawing.
Mm,
And it's combined with someone like me that coaches you through it. I guide you through it.
yeah.
And so you don't have to be able to draw. Those were all just lines and circles. So beginners, and it's not about the final product even. It's about the journey.
Mm-hmm.
It,
Right.
yeah. So you may or may not want to hang up your drawing on the wall, and that's totally okay because throughout the drawing, the drawing process is NeuroGraphica, and what I do is we pause throughout, and I invite you to reflect on four areas,
Mm,
and I'll ask you what you're seeing, either visually or in your mind's eye.
mm-hmm.
What are you feeling in your body?
Mm,
What are the emotions that are present? And then what kind of meaning are you assigning to it? And we stop and we do that a couple times throughout. And then
mm-hmm.
what's also cool is for me at least is they a lot of the insights come the next day. So
Yeah.
it's
It's a
not like,
continual process.
uh-huh, yeah,
Yeah.
for the next couple days.
I personally, in fact, I have one over here. I don't even know
Oh, let's see.
what I did with that one now that I think about it. Make sure there's not a dog behind me. So I can squeeze over here and get it. What did I do this one on? Usually I put a note on the back and I did not. That was one that I did,
Nice.
but I literally can't remember which one that one was for.
Yeah, sometimes it does fade. I do take
Yeah.
notes. Yeah.
Yeah, put a note on the back usually. I don't know
Mm.
why that one. Yeah. But I keep these, I have different ones like in different places so I see them. They bring me joy just looking at them that I've done them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
One happens to be next to a sink that I go wash my hands at, and I'll just glance over and look at it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So they bring me lots of joy. Curious, what is the youngest person and the oldest person you've ever done this with?
Good question. So I have three kids, and so I have been experimenting on them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I was taught that it isn't this big process isn't really for young kids. But some of the like my daughter, she drew this on her own, and she's 10.
That
And,
is awesome. Yeah.
and I didn't guide her through it. She just saw what I was doing, and then she made her own. But my son, he was really angry at one point, and he's 12. And so
Mm-hmm.
I sat down and I had him do a small drawing just to
Mm-hmm.
help calm him down. And it worked. And then my thir 13, 14, sorry. My 14-year-old was going through a relationship breakup and really struggling with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had him do a neurograph drawing, and maybe it was the drawing, but I mean, it was like a night and day difference after he got done with that drawing.
So yeah, as you were talking about it, it's like it hit me. I'm like, God, this would be such a great process to teach middle school age and up. I mean, elementary, maybe not, but when they get past the 12, and that's adolescence, which is full of crazy emotions and hormones and all the things. If they had this tool, how would that change their young adult life if they knew, like you said, they're in a breakup? Okay, let me sit down, do the process, and maybe you wouldn't suffer so long or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I mean, I
Oh,
think it would be an amazing thing to be taught in schools, honestly.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Really
agree.
would be. Yeah.
And in some of the drawings, they don't have to be complicated to get some of that nervous system regulation. It could
Hmm.
just be drawing lines, just
Hmm.
lines.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, cool. Actually, that was my next question. You combine the creativity part with the nervous system regulation. How do those fit together?
Like again, it's connecting with our creativity, and it when you do that, it gets you into the present moment.
Hmm.
So a lot of our anxiety comes from fear of the past or fear of the future. Our nervous system
Yep.
is out of whack because of that. And
Hmm.
so when you're drawing, you're usually present. I mean, we might be talking about the past, but still your hand is, presently drawing circles or lines or something like that. And so it is a very calming process. I think so. And so yeah, my kid examples pretty much answered that question.
Yeah. And so for me, I look at that as sometimes if your hand is doing something at the same time that your mind is also thinking of the process you're taking them through, it may take the conscious mind for a minute and like put it over here on the paper while the subconscious mind can be working on something else. Is
Hmm.
that true? Sort
Yeah,
of?
this, hmm
Yeah.
yeah, the they call it the neurograph alphabet is the shapes. You draw shapes that represent feelings, and there's been times in my drawings where I've drawn a shape consciously, but I didn't quite know what it meant. And then later on, my subconscious, I was like, oh, that's what that shape means. It came later.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Very
Yeah.
cool.
But another thing also, think about how drawing was our very first language, really. When someone slapped a crayon in our hand when we were two, we didn't start writing our alphabet.
Yep.
We
You
drew
scribbled something.
shapes and lines, and so this is a really good way, the whole neurographic process, connecting with a bit of your inner child,
Mm-hmm.
because we're
Mm.
doing simple lines and shapes. So it's
Oh,
that's.
that's good. That is very good.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's go to what happens during a session. So if somebody comes in and they've never done any of this, kind of walk me through what you do. I mean, you've kind of talked about it. You guide them through the process. So you don't need any special skills to do this or anything else, right?
Right. That's very important. I
Mm.
I don't want to hear, but I'm not an artist, and that. Please, if you don't need any special skills, you just need a willingness to sit with yourself and listen. So there's no pressure to be an artist. And so what I do is we do start with just a little bit of some grounding, breath work, take a few
Mhm.
breaths to like settle in. And we might do
Right.
that a couple times throughout. I've I've had emotional tears during a drawing before,
Mhm.
and so
Yeah.
that's why it helps to have a guide to talk you through that. But we're it's really important to be curious about your drawing and not think, oh, that looks horrible. Just be curious. That's interesting.
My
I wonder why I drew that blob there.
my husband did that with me, and he looked at mine and he looked at his. He's like, mine's ugly, and I'm like, it is what it is. It's not ugly. It's just what you put on the paper.
Mhm.
Yep.
I think my husband knows the same thing. He was really worried about doing it wrong. I'm like, but
There
but
is no wrong. There is absolutely no wrong in this. That's what's so amazing about it.
hmm yeah. Um, but so back to the question of how what goes on next is we do need to pick a theme. You have to draw
Yeah.
on a theme, and
Yeah.
we do that through a kind of like a brain dump of words.
Yeah.
And our theme needs to be simple, like one word, one or a couple words, so that and then like I said, as we go through the process, we're going to stop about actually we stop about 7 times, and we do those 4 things. What are you seeing? What's going on in your body? What are the emotions that you're feeling? What meaning can you assign to this?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a 7-step process that we go through. And then at the very end, we do another brain dump of words on maybe your theme changed, which often happens with me. So, what I started out writing on, by the time I got through the process, my theme changed a little bit.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and yeah, and I'm quiet a lot of the times where I let you draw, and
Mhm.
I'll ask
Yeah.
questions, intuitively.
There's power in silence.
Absolutely, there needs to be
Mhm.
silence in this.
Yeah, definitely.
There's one drawing called Neuro Rain, though, where we play shamanic drums.
I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. So I know from the one I drew, and you can maybe hold up one of yours, when you come to these intersections, they're kind of rounded off like this. Explain what that does. What does that represent when it does that?
That's the best. That's the most relaxing process, but it's
It
also
really is.
uh-huh. It's also the most meaningful part of the entire process. So the drawings literally represent neurons in our brain,
Hmm.
why it's so subconscious. So if you look up a picture of a neuron, that's kind of what we're mimicking when we do that.
Hmm.
But when we draw lines or scribbles on a page and the sharp lines cross and they're making 90 degrees angles, which are, they're very straight.
Yes.
And what it represents is where things in our life collide, where like expectations meet reality and you're disappointed, or where fear meets hope, where relationships cross. It's not really the crossings is not really a good thing. So what we do is we smooth them out with the round.
Mm.
And your
Okay.
your example was perfect. Can you hold it up again and point to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great roundings. And
Like,
so, mhm, just rounding the 90-degree angles, uh, we are gently softening
yeah.
those intersections in life that are at angles.
Yeah, I've noticed as I've done the process, you breathe differently almost. Like there's a softening in the breath,
Yeah.
even when you're rounding through and you're almost done rounding it, and you look back at it, you're like, I don't know, can't explain it. There's just a feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're integrating, what has happened to you in life, because everything happens for a reason. Every line on that page is meant to be there. And
Yeah.
yeah. And like we never erase either. We don't erase our lines. So anything you draw in there was meant to be there. It becomes part of the drawing.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, so I wanted to talk about, we kind of touched on the themes already. I mean, you can really come at it from any direction. You kind of categorize it probably relationships, career, family, self, whatever, right? Trauma,
Mhm.
pain. So those are some of the themes you can bring into that process, the fears like you talked about. So tell us, actually, I'm going to interject right now. We are collaborating, which I think is beautiful, that we're going to do the MBSA Collective. We're going to do an introduction gathering on Saturday, August the 8th at 6 p.m. here at the Healing Oasis. And you are actually going to do like a little intro or a little sample of this. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to bring that to your workshop,
Yeah.
to the collective.
Yeah.
Um,
We will do couple of different, we'll do like 3 different things that day. So this will be just one of what we'll be doing. You want to speak really quick? Do you remember what Ryan's going to do? Do you kind of
my
remember?
yeah, my husband, he's a men's mentor coach, and he is speaking on self-value. I think the importance
Mhm.
of self-value with like an archetype lesson.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, so he'll do like a little mini lesson as well, and then I'm going to come in and do a process, same thing. We're going to do some intention setting. It happens to be Lionsgate. If you don't know what that is, doesn't matter. Let's just say it's a very good, energetically, cosmically aligned day to set your intentions for connection, for your expansion of your soul. It's just a great day to do all of that stuff. Look at your higher wisdom, all those fun things. So you don't need participants that would come that day. Do they have to bring anything with them, or we will have everything?
I would recommend you bring a black Sharpie marker.
Mm-hmm. And I'll have some. I've got some supplies, so we'll try to have some. But if they have the
Mhm.
ability to bring Sharpies or map color pencils, do you prefer that? That's a good question. In neurographics, do you prefer the map color pencils or do you prefer a marker?
That is a very good question. I've done both. I do know that markers or highlighters are a lot quicker. So sometimes it depends on how much time you have to draw.
Mm-hmm.
Markers go a lot faster. And it also depends on if you're really connecting with your inner artist and what you want your final product to be, because you get a whole nother level when you combine. I use Prismacolors on
Mm-hmm.
top of the markers, and yeah, you can get
Yeah,
really creative with it.
that's really cool. Yeah, I've done both. Yeah, there's definitely some beauty in doing the map pencils. I feel like you
There's
can kind of
texture.
do texture to it. Yeah, there's differences you can do with that versus a marker. Excellent. So, if there was one thing that our listeners were remembering from today, what would your hope for them be as they listen to this?
Yes, I am going to go with that. Whether you think it or not, remember that creativity belongs to you.
Mhm.
And not sure if we mentioned it, but I mean, I'm not just talking about uh, artwork. right? You can be creative in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You can be creative in the woodworking. I use my son as an example again. He's really into chemistry. And so he has his own little lab in the garage, and it is his happy place, and he's being creative mixing stuff. And he doesn't like to draw, but he's creative there. So yeah, tapping into your creativity, what it is, it may require you looking back to high school or elementary school and trying to remember what made you feel alive.
Mhm.
Yeah, I believe.
And for those people that know about energy centers in the body, the creativity is in your sacral center, which is connected to your throat. So if you have trouble speaking your truth, I feel like tapping into that creativity then helps you open your throat and be able to speak more empowered for yourself. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's all connected.
I have human design things to say about that, but that's for another conversation.
Oh, you don't want to give us a little peek? Because we will, just so people know, if they're watching this and maybe it's past the time we do the thing on the 8th, we have plans to continue to do some sort of workshop monthly at the Healing Oasis, which is in the Columbus, Texas area, in case anybody's listening and doesn't know where that is. We're actually talking about adding something like the human design element one month. Just give a little sneak about what that means.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great if we had an instruction manual that came with our body? When in fact we do.
Mm,
So the human design system is basically a blueprint of how are innately designed to be the higher version of ourself. I mean, you could look at the way you were designed in this system and choose to just keep on trucking the way you're trucking. But if you're interested in connecting with yourself and your inner authority and moving to the next frequency or the next level,
mhm.
then if you lean into the way you're designed in this system, then you end up noticing and going more with your own flow.
That's what I would say is it has helped me understand how I operate. I call it my operating system. It's like a map to your operating system. And like you said, when you understand it, even just a tiny bit, you don't have to understand the whole system because it can be complex. But a little bit goes a long way to helping you operate and flow through your life instead of maybe banging your head against the wall, trying to make something happen. It'll
Yeah.
teach you how not to do that. It's definitely done that for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even just learning how to make decisions better. You
Yeah.
know, there's there's certain types of people in the system, and each type of person is supposed to make decisions this way or that way. And
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, decision making is a big thing in human design.
Excellent. So
And
yeah, that's one thing we will explore later down the road in the next coming months is the human design element. I may do one on Akashic Records, which is just tapping into your soul's library, just to keep it simple. And then Ryan will do some things with men on their emotional intelligence, which is so needed in this time for sure. Um, so I'm looking forward to doing all of that in the future. And if your life had a theme right now, what would it be?
I am going to give you my my tagline for my business for that one. So
Okay.
at this time in 2026, I'm launching my program. My business is called Embrace the Health, and my tagline, which is the theme, is wake up, come out and play.
Oh, I love it.
because that's what I need to hear, and I see other women out there that have like just gone so deep into the world. They need to be woken up and drawn out to have fun again and be themselves
Yeah.
again. Yeah. Uh,
I absolutely love that.
yeah.
Perfect. Very cool. Well, we are now at 50 minutes, so we did not keep it to 45 minutes, but that's good. We did good. I can talk forever because, like I said, you're speaking my language. So it's very cool to meet other people that are on the same page. I feel like that is important in these days to find your tribe, is what I call it. Find
Mhm.
the people that lift you up, find the people that help you grow, um, and that you can really have a deeper conversation with about real things. That's what I crave. And that's one of the reasons we are doing the MBSA Collective. That's like the whole purpose is to be able to bring people together in a safe place. You won't be judged about anything. It's just to help you grow within yourself and be more empowered. Right?
Absolutely. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, I appreciate you so much for coming on today, and we will get this out to our listeners, and everyone is invited to the 8th of August, 6 p.m. Come on out and join us, learn something new, meet some new people, have some fun. It'll be great. I appreciate you so much.
Yes. Thank you, Melanie.
All right. So this is it for this episode of Align and Elevate. And please love who you are. Thanks for listening today to Align and Elevate. If I can help you in any way, look me up at melanieking.me or check me out on Facebook, Instagram. MK Healer is my handle. As always, I will be me, you be you, and love who you are.